What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Mobility Mondays. I'm Sean Fitzgerald, one of the personal trainers here at the Upper Valley Aquatic Center. So, I'd like to say thanks for tagging along, and like always, go ahead, like, subscribe, and see how much information we can share and get out, and be able to kind of get together and see what else we can do. So, kind of going on from our previous week. So we've been working on from the ankles, feet around that area, and really working our way up. So we are still back with the hips. So we are going to be doing a continuation of what kind we were doing last time. So we want to make sure that, there's a ton of different exercises that we work on with the hips. So we want to make sure that we're still, working at them, because a lot of people, will have, like some sort of pain, like, oh, my hips are tight, my hip flexors are tight, lower back hurts. Well, so it's things like that we want to kind of take a look at and make sure that, hey, there's a lot that we can do that doesn't revolve the gym. You can do them at home in your living room. You can, do them in your office if you can get away with it. So there's a lot of different things that we want to try to do to make sure that you're able to basically kind of get where you want to be, right? So last time we talked about some, hip burnouts where we were doing leg raises, kind of some clamshells, reverse clamshells, things like that, kind of a hip flexor stretch, right? So we're going to keep going on with that and kind of moving in onto what more we're able to do, really, to kind of help see if we can, loosen me up, get a little bit more mobility in there, increase that range, start strengthening, right, at the same time. Like, not everything that is tight needs to be loosened. Sometimes it needs to be strengthened. So we want to take a look at that and make sure that you're kind of on the right page. So, well, let's get going, right? So what we're going to do, so I'm going to nail this down so you can kind of see me down here, right? So what we're going to do is we're just going to do a real simple kind of a 90-90, right? So kind of what you're looking at is, when trying to set up into the position is going to be the hardest for someone, right? Because really what you're looking for is getting everything into basically 90 degrees, right? Is my knee, hip, am I at 90, things like that, right? Is my back, leg, I got my left leg going out. So this is basically a seated 90-90, right? Everything's in my 90 position. And for some of you, this is going to be really hard, just basically in this position, right? Because right here, I got my left hip flexor, right, basically here. If you're really tight, you're probably going to feel it, right? Or if you're a little bit, a lot of people are going to be like kind of hunched over. Well, main thing is we want to make sure that we're sitting up. So we're in this position, right? If you have to, you can lean back. That way, your chest is up. Your back's kind of straight. If you have to, you can do two hands. Kind of take the pressure off. See if that helps a little bit. But we're at 90-90 right here, right? And all we're going to do is come on up and go back and forth, right? So, what happens is sometimes, you might alter, so you just want to get back in, get back into your 90-90, and really all you're going to do is just kind of go back and forth. So right here, I can kind of feel it right through here, so I want to make sure I kind of focus on where I'm feeling it, what's bothering me, where I need to maybe spend a little bit more area on, things like that. So I'm just going to kind of go back and forth. Make sure I stay in that 90-90. Some people might feel it through here, maybe when they rotate over. So it's going to kind of depend on where your body is really talking to you, right? And again, everyone's going to be different, right? Some people are like, I don't even feel that. Well, that's pretty good. Just keep working on that motion, right? That helps keep the mobility. If you don't do it, you're going to lose it, right? It's kind of that little principle. So you're just going back and forth, 90-90, kind of work on that little hip mobility. Just a simple one that you can literally do. You're just kind of chilling out, and literally you're just like, oh, I'm just going to go back and forth. I'm just going to kind of work on doing my 90-90s, right? So, that's something that you can do. It's something real simple, something really easy that you can kind of battle, when you're at home with the kiddos, or, just before bed, if you just want to do a couple turns back and forth first, right? So again, and then you're already in this position, right? So why don't you just kind of come in and, you're basically going to do a butterfly, right? So, it's going to be in, around your groin area, right? So, if toes up, stretch it a little bit, kind of use your elbows, push your kind of knees down and open up. So, ideally, if people have a lot of range of motion, their knees are going to be at different spots. Some people could be up here because they're super tight. Happens, right? But, you're just kind of here, kind of getting a stretch, sitting tall. We don't want to be like, hunched over or anything, right? We want to be still nice and tall and kind of working at it. And, what's best is literally we just went from 90-90 here to butterfly. We can literally stay, right here on our butts. And all I got to do is reach my leg out here. So this is one that you can do if you have a block or a kettlebell or a dumbbell or anything like that. So what I'm doing is I'm literally using nothing, right? Because I'm just going to be doing the motion. Like it's that simple also. So legs are straight, right? I'm kind of pushing myself kind of upright. So I'm kind of tall. I'm not like slouched over or anything. But I want to be nice and tall. And I'm going to start with my right leg. So this one, right? And all I'm doing is I'm lifting that leg. And, I'm kind of imagining that there's something like right there, right? And I'm just lifting it up and over. Lifting it up and over. So believe it or not, this will be challenging for some because all I'm doing is moving my right leg, right? From my hip, right? I'm not, you bending or doing anything. I'm literally, the better is the more you can get upright, the more, straight, not leaning back. Like this is a lot easier, right? If this is all you're able to get to, then that's all you're able to get to, right? That's what your body's telling you, right? So we want to try to be up as tall as we can. And we just want to imagine that there's something there. So clearly my left side is a lot tighter than my right side, right? So you're going to find that one side is, I might need to work on it a little bit more, right? So just imagining it, trying to keep it, trying to just work on going back and forth. So I'm opening my hips, just my hips, right? I'm not using any other part because I'm just moving my leg from here up and over. And I don't want to slam my foot down, right? I want to just pick it up, come on over, and control it down. Pick it up, bring it over, and control it down, right? So what we're doing is we're literally working on strengthening, right around the hip flexor, and you're doing a little bit of mobility. You're getting that movement in that area that you might not have actually ever tried, right? So that's the one main thing that we want to keep working on is trying something that we might never have tried or seen or done. Anything, you just kind of work on adding a little small thing to your routines, right? So again, you got basically your 90-90. I'm already on the floor, right? I go into my butterfly because I'm already sitting on the floor. Then I can go in some just simple straight leg lifts, right? Imagining that's something there, or literally pick something, to put there and to lift my leg over, right? And then now I'm just going to come in and crossing my right leg over my left leg. My foot is right on the other side, right? It's flat on the ground. And right now I'm just kind of hugging my knee. So for some, you might feel it in your straight leg because you're probably going to be, we say tight, right? While others, you might feel it maybe running down the back of your leg, right around where your piriformis is or where your glute is, things like that, right? So, and then what happens is a lot of people start pulling this way, so they're going to lift. We want to make sure that we're keeping us straight, right? Because we want to shoot my right hip down to the ground. Like we want to keep as flat as we can, right? And right now, what we're working on is it's just a simple little stretch that you might feel that you might be a little tight. We'll kind of, some people are used to this one where, that's your lower, like kind of your lower back or things like that. Well, we don't want to be in our lower back. We want to be right in our hip. So basically, the more you pull your knee closer to your chest, the more you'll feel it running down, right around the back of your leg, your glutes, your butt, your butt basically. And it's just a nice little stretch, right? Nothing to cause like pain. And the one thing we want to do is make sure we're kind of pretending to shoot or like aiming to shoot that left hip down or right hip, whichever leg you have bent right now. And I'm shooting it down and I'm trying to stay like straight. I don't want to arc or move or anything like that. So I'm just here trying to, I'm going to feel it. And same thing, it's just a simple stretch, right? We're going literally 20 to 30 seconds each. It doesn't have to be crazy. It doesn't have to be much. A little bit goes a long way, right? If you can do that, say you start out once a week, awesome. Try to incorporate maybe twice a week to 3 times a week and see if you actually see a difference, right? So this one, right? All I got is literally, my left leg forward. It's kind of the irrigation in your ankle are, I'm really parallel with my hips. But it's there. I got my knee back here. And this is just a nice little kind of stretch that I'm feeling in my hip flexor, right? Sorry about that. So this one is going to be, if you're out here, you're not going to feel anything. If, you're here, you might feel it more, maybe in the forward leg. All I'm doing is just trying to stay upright. And I'm just going to stay kind of just straight and over it. If you have really tight hips, you're going to be feeling it. If you don't, again, there's an exercise that you won't have to worry about, right? You can try to find something else that hits this area. But these are just options that you're able to, kind of go through and see what works, see what doesn't work, see what's awkward, see, what you want to try out, So on this side, like this side, I don't really feel anything. So again, I probably wouldn't spend as much time, in this position as maybe I would the other way, right? So those are a couple little tidbits that literally you were just doing on the ground. We just kind of cover it. You can do those 10 minutes a day, 10 minutes a week, like once, twice a week, just a little bit over time helps, right? And kind of going into just more exercises to help while you're outside, like, outside work or in your office, whichever, if your work allows you to kind of sit in the ground and do a couple of exercises, that's pretty cool. So have at it, right? So those are a couple things that we can do on the ground, right? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab like a step. I got a step right here, just an aerobic step. It's no big deal. You guys can use literally the stairs. You can use a bench, anything that you kind of have. It doesn't really, it doesn't really matter as long as it is something that you can, just step on, right? So basically what we're going to do, let me kind of get a good view there, right? So I got my left leg up and I'm going to raise up. And all I'm doing is I'm just kind of doing a hip dip, right? And all I'm doing is I'm keeping this left leg straight, right? And I'm just kind of dropping my foot up, my right foot up, and dropping it down. So this is just a little bit more of a little fluid movement aspect, right? So I'll go from this side so you can see me. So I got this time my right leg's up, so I'm here, and I'm just, see how my left foot right now would be even, and then I'm dropping it down. So same thing here, get a better view, go here, it's just dropping. This leg still stays straight though, right? This right leg is straight. All I'm doing is just kind of dropping my hip. So it's just basically kind of doing just dropping my hip, right? So this is something that, if something kind of bothers you or, you feel a little bit, it's just literally something you can just go. You're just kind of focusing really just on the hip itself. And you're just kind of moving, getting it, just feeling, you can feel, my left glute contracting, your quad, after a little bit, you're going to get a little tired, right? Because how many of you would just really get into that position for a long time? Not really anyone, right? So, but, that's something that you can kind of knock out on a door stoop or, your steps. Doesn't really take long, 8 to 10 reps on each side a couple times. You're going to feel it, right? So it's just a little simple, kind of a little bit of hip movement to kind of help. We started with the ground stuff, so you can do that after dinner, playing around the ground with your dog, your cat, kiddos, really anything, anytime. So there's really no big deal. There's no fancy equipment. There's really nothing. You're just kind of going through a couple motions and kind of feeling it, see what works, see what doesn't work, see if it actually you need to do that or not. So, and then, a couple hip dips, right? Be done at the gym, done at your house. You could do them at work if you want. If you got a little small step or anything like that, you can tackle it off of that. But those are all quick, easy, a little bit of routine that you can go through, test, see what works, see what doesn't, see what kind of goes back with, the previous episode that we did, and maybe you can plug and play basically. Take a couple from each, see what works, and make sure that your hips are staying active and they're staying firing, right? And that's all that we want. So, hope you had a little bit of fun with it, a little bit, information, maybe a couple different things that you might not have tried before, and you just want to see what it feels like. But like always, if you're ever in the Upper Valley, don't be shy. Stop on in, come say hi to us, see what we're all about, and like, subscribe, and from there, we'll share as much as we can and try to connect with as many people as we can too. See what if you guys have any other fun exercises out there that you want. You want us to kind of show and spread through our channel. That's we can totally do that. But it's Monday. I hope you guys had an awesome weekend. Right? It was gorgeous up here. Had a lot of fun at the playgrounds and stuff with the kiddos. So I hope you guys had a good one. And it looks like this week's gonna be pretty good up here. So happy Monday. Get a good work weekend, and we'll see you next time. All right, you all enjoy.